Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be Shay's 1 month update. I can't believe she's already a month old. Time is seriously just flying by. But she's all wrapped and swaddled right now because it is time for her to feed and go down for her next nap. But I did kind of want to show you her before she gets all sleepy and she's on the boob. So hopefully you guys don't mind if I feed her throughout this video. But we are going to be talking about how she's doing sleep-wise, how she's doing feeding-wise, and like what size clothing she's in and all of that. So if you guys want to hear how she's doing for her 1 month update, then just keep on watching. So Shay is in size 1 diaper now, and she's been in size 1 for a little while, ever since she was about 2.5 weeks old, I think. She got like a bad diaper rash, and I think it was because her newborn diapers were too small. They didn't look too small, but ever since I changed over to a different brand and a different size, it kind of went away. So I don't know if it has to do with the size or the brand, but we were using Honest and Pampers Swaddlers for the beginning of her life. And then now we're just kind of using whatever we have. So we had a couple packs of Huggies, which didn't really phase her. They worked fine. That's what I use with Baylee, and I absolutely love Huggies. They're really absorbent and really thick, and I just like the material a lot better than a lot of the other diapers. But right now we're actually using a pack of diapers that we had left over from Baylee. So they're size 1 and they're from Costco. They're just the Costco brand, and they seem to be doing just fine with her. So we're trying to use those up before we buy anything else. But so she is in size 1 for the time being. And she's also in 0 to 3 month clothing for the most part. She still fits into a lot of her newborn clothes, but I just find that the 0 to 3 month are a little bit more comfy. They are still baggy, but I just think that she's more comfortable in them. So Shay is not on a schedule by any means. I think she's a little bit too young for that right now, but she is feeding throughout the day, pretty much every 2 hours, 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours. So she'll wake up around 8:30, 9 o'clock, typically when Baylee gets up for the day. She'll wake up like 30 minutes before Baylee does, and then I'll feed her and kind of let her play on her play mat for her awake time before her first nap, and then I'll go and get Baylee and get her breakfast and all that while she's playing on her mat and kind of exercising her legs and whatnot. So after her playtime in the morning, she'll go down for her first nap, and then she sleeps for about an hour and a half. It's not really a long nap. Usually her morning nap is pretty short. And then once she gets up, she will feed, and then she goes right back down for another nap, and so on and so forth. So that's pretty much all she does all day. We do about 15-20 minutes of tummy time somewhere in the middle of the day when she's awake for one of her awake times. We will try and squeeze that in, and she doesn't really love it or hate it. She kind of just lays there, and sometimes she will like try and doze off. So she's not a huge tummy time fan, but she also doesn't hate it. And then at around 6 o'clock I will give her her bath, but we do her bath every other night now. So after her bath I will swaddle her and feed her, and she is down for the night. And we are just now starting to do her naps and her nighttime sleep in her room. We just started that a couple days ago, and she's actually doing a lot better. She sleeps way better in her room than she did when we were downstairs in the living room, like in her swing. She just takes way better naps, and she sleeps and goes right back down for her sleep at night really easily, and there's like no problem. So I'm getting a lot better sleep now that she's in her room, and I think she is too. So it's a win-win for both of us. She is waking up anywhere between 2 to 3, sometimes 4 times at night. She will sometimes go like 3 to 4 hour stretches, but she goes down right away, like without a fight, usually every time now. So when she wasn't in her own room and she was still in our room, it would take me probably an hour to get her back down after I would feed her and change her. So now that she's in her own room, she is just so content in here, and she loves it, and it's just really reassuring to know that she's getting really good sleep, and I'm getting really good sleep now. I was so hesitant to put her in her room this early. I think we put Baylee in her room at like 5, maybe 6 weeks. We did have to order some blackout curtains for her room because the curtains that we had in her room did shine a lot of light in here, and we are using white noise. She has to have the white noise super loud and pretty much like blasting in her ear. in order for her to kind of calm down and go to sleep. But other than that, she's sleeping really well. The first couple baths we did at home with her, she absolutely hated them. Being in the bath wasn't so bad, but when we took her out, she would scream bloody murder, as I think most newborns do, but I kind of realized that I was taking the towel off of her a little bit too soon, so she was really cold. So I kind of snuggle her in her towel to keep her really warm, and I find that she likes it a lot better. So she's starting to like it a lot more, and I make sure that all the fans are off so there's no wind blowing, and I just make sure that she's really well dried off before I even take the towel off of her to get her dressed and lotioned. So that is definitely helping. Before she fully wakes up from her sleep, she will make grunting noises about 45 minutes before she's fully awake and alert. I don't know if that's normal or not. I don't think Baylee ever did that, but I think I was going in and picking her up and trying to console her a little bit too soon, because she will still be sleeping for a good 45 minutes until she's fully awake. So I've learned to kind of just let her grunt and do her thing before she is awake and ready for me to pick her up, because now that she's in her own room, I don't really hear every little peep and noise she makes. So I feel like that really helps for her and I to both get better sleep. So at about 3.5 weeks, we started Gerber Soothe Probiotic drops. And I've heard amazing things about this stuff for colicky babies. And I don't know if she's colic or not, but I have a feeling she has silent reflux, and I've mentioned it to her doctor, but military doctors are so hard to work with. They don't really take you seriously. So her pediatrician didn't diagnose her with it or anything, but I just have this mother's instinct and kind of know that she has it. She has all the signs for it and everything. So she doesn't spit up a lot. She doesn't ever really spit up. I think she spit up maybe 2 or 3 times since she's been born, but she has all of the other symptoms of it. So that's why I think it's silent reflux. But I wanted to see if there was something to kind of alleviate her discomfort, and I've heard such good things about this stuff. So what you do, you just shake it before you use it, and if you are exclusively breastfeeding like we are, you just drop 5 drops on your breast before they feed. And I don't really know if it's working or not. I know it takes about a week for you to notice any significant results, but she has been doing a lot better. She doesn't cry a lot anymore. She seems a lot happier. Okay, sorry, I had to put her down in her crib because she was getting kind of antsy, but we are gonna finish the bottle and then reevaluate from there and see if it's worth repurchasing again, because it is pretty pricey for the small amount that you get. But if any of you guys have used this stuff with your little one and have either a positive or negative experience, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on it. So I forgot to mention, but the swaddle that she was in just now was from Lulu & Co, and that swaddle is by far my favorite swaddle that we own. We have some from Swaddle Designs, we have Aiden and I, and then some other brands, but Lulu & Co is honestly the best fabric for swaddling. It's super stretchy and really breathable, and I find that I can wrap her and get her super tight really easily, whereas the other fabrics, they aren't really that stretchy, so it's hard to get her super tight and she'll just bust out of them. And the other ones that we love are by the brand Swaddle Me, and they are Velcro. And it's really hard to find swaddles for little babies, and when she was born she was only 6 pounds 15 ounces, so she was super small. So this didn't fit her up until about a week ago, but now that it fits her, this is my favorite swaddle other than the Lulu & Co one, because the Velcro just really gets her nice and snug and she cannot bust out of this one. So Swaddle Me and Lulu & Co, by far the best swaddles. You can find Lulu & Co on Instagram, or I will leave their website down below. I need to order more of them. I only ordered one and I'm like kicking myself in the butt for it because they are the best. So like I mentioned, we are exclusively breastfeeding, and from the moment that she came out, she latched on right away. We didn't really have any issues. I think I mentioned in my postpartum update that she had a slight latch issue because her bottom lip wasn't fully coming out, but now that that is resolved and she's able to do that completely on her own now without me having to pry her lip open, breastfeeding is honestly a breeze now. I mean, it's really time consuming, and I feel like I'm strapped to the couch or wherever I'm sitting while I have a toddler to look after as well is kind of challenging, but I'm figuring it out and we're kind of adjusting still. But breastfeeding is going really well, and I'm so blessed and grateful that I'm able to provide all the nutrients that she needs in order to thrive and grow, because at her 1 month appointment, she is now in the 86th percentile for her length, whereas at her 1 week checkup, she was at 56th percentile. So she's growing like a weed, and she is in the 69th percentile for her weight, and she was in the 23rd percentile at her 1 week checkup for her weight. So she's gaining weight like crazy. At her 1 month checkup the other day, she was weighing at 9 pounds, 10 ounces, and 22.5 inches long. So she's almost gained 3 pounds and 2 inches, I believe that's right. She's growing like a weed, and I'm just so proud of her. Her and I are just doing so well breastfeeding, and I'm just so happy. So when Shay first came out, she had a full head of hair. It wasn't a lot of hair, but she did have a full head of it, and now it's completely starting to fall out. So the whole top of her head is pretty much all gone. She has a little bit left, but the back of it is still there, so it's like an old man little haircut. It's so funny, but I think it's all eventually gonna fall out and then obviously grow back in. And I'm curious to see what color it's gonna be, because Adam and I were both towhead blonde when we were little, and so was my brother, and I think his sister was too, but obviously Baylee is light brown. So I have a feeling she's gonna have light brown hair like her sister, but we will see. She does have bright blue eyes like Baylee does. They're a little bit darker, but they are definitely blue, and I think they're gonna stay blue because Adam and I both have blue eyes. Her skin tone is a little bit different than Baylee's. She has a little bit more of an olive skin tone, which is so pretty. I don't know where she got that from. But I think she looks completely different than Baylee. She has my nose for sure. Baylee looks exactly like Adam, like a girl version of Adam, and everyone tells me that, and I completely agree. I think she looks just like him. But I think Shay looks a lot like I do. She definitely has my nose, and I think my lips. I think she has Adam's eyes, but it's kind of hard to tell still. But as a baby and right now in this point of her life, I think she looks a lot more like me than she does Adam. But other than that, I think that was everything that I wanted to catch you guys up on for her 1 month update. She's not doing a whole lot at 4 weeks old, so this update was kind of short and sweet. And I just went to go grab her from her crib so that you guys can see her one last time before we end today's video. But if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.